An extraordinary showdown between two world leaders that we've never seen before.
It was supposed to be a brief meeting and photo op between President Trump and Ukraine's President Zelenskyy in the Oval Office, but it turned into a heated exchange. Trump raised his voice at Zelenskyy and the two men talking over each other at one point, Trump even threatening to give up on Ukraine entirely.
And the meeting became so tense that this is how the ambassador to Ukraine reacted, putting her hand over her head in the middle of the meeting as she witnessed a real-time breakdown in relations. Erica Brown is live at the White House with more video from the meeting. Erica.
Well, Dick and Christine, it was a striking scene today at the White House that could put the prospects of a peace deal to end Russia's war with Ukraine on shaky ground. Intense exchanges. President Trump and Vice President Vance admonishing Ukrainian President Zelenskyy, saying he needed to be more thankful for America's aid and support during the war.
Tensions spilled over in the Oval Office between President Trump and Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelenskyy during a meeting that was supposed to be about ending Russia's war with Ukraine.
You're not in a good position. You don't have the cards right now. With us, you start having cards. Right now, you don't. You're playing cards. You're playing cards. You're gambling with the lives of millions of people. You're gambling with World War III. You're gambling with World War III. And what you're doing is very disrespectful to the country, this country.
The conversation turned contentious as Zelenskyy questioned Vice President Vance about Russia honoring any deal.
What kind of diplomacy, JD, you are speaking about? What do you mean?
I'm talking about the kind of diplomacy that's going to end the destruction of your country.
Yes, but if you
Mr. President, with respect, I think it's disrespectful for you to come into the Oval Office and try to litigate this in front of the American media. You should be thanking the president for trying to bring an end to this conflict.
President Trump stepped in, telling Zelenskyy America saved Ukraine.
You invited me. If you didn't have our military equipment, this war would have been over in 2 weeks.
In 3 days. I heard it from Putin. In 3 days. This is something
maybe
new.
Less.
In 2 weeks. Of course, yes.
It's going to be a very hard thing to do business like this.
Again,
I tell you.
Just say thank you.
The White House says Ukraine has been difficult to negotiate with for some time.
I don't want a ceasefire. I don't want a ceasefire. I want to go, and I wanted this. Look, if you could get a ceasefire right now, I tell you, you take it so the bullets stop flying and your men stop getting killed.
Of course, we want to stop the war.
But you're saying you don't want a ceasefire.
But I said to you,
I want a ceasefire.
With guarantees.
A scheduled news conference with the two leaders was scrapped, and Zelenskyy left with neither side signing a mineral rights agreement.
And after that news conference was canceled, Zelenskyy, in a statement, thanked President Trump and Congress for the visit. Separately, President Trump, in a statement, said that Zelenskyy had disrespected the United States in the Oval Office, and he could come back when he is ready for peace. Dick, Christine?
Erica, I guess the next question is, what's going to happen now? What is Zelenskyy doing now?
Well, Dick, now Zelenskyy turns to his European allies. They are scheduled to meet in Europe this weekend. That includes French President Macron and UK Prime Minister Starmer. Both were here at the White House earlier this week, making the case that Russia was the clear aggressor, that any peace deal would have to include security assurances and Ukraine's sovereignty, also saying that Europe will step up to provide more defense for Ukraine, which after this meeting could be key.
Erica Brown at the White House. Erica, thank you.
Never been more proud of the president. I was very proud of J.D. Vance, standing up for our country. We want to be helpful. What I saw in the Oval Office was disrespectful, and I don't know if we can ever do business with Zelenskyy again.
No one imagined that the President of the United States would betray all the things that we fought for, all the reasons we fought the Second World War, that we formed the New World Order, liberal, democratic world war after that great conflict. You know, we're on the side of the bad guys now.
And as we said, Democratic House Minority Hakeem Jeffries released a statement writing, President Trump and his administration continue to embarrass America on the world stage. Today's White House meeting with the president of Ukraine was appalling and will only serve to further embolden Vladimir Putin, a brutal dictator.
And this clash is also drawing attention across the globe, as you can imagine. Several world leaders are weighing in, including French President Emmanuel Macron. He reiterated his support for Zelenskyy, saying there is an aggressor, which is Russia, and a people attacked, which is Ukraine. And a former Swedish prime minister says the meeting raises some serious doubts about the seriousness of American power.
Anyone pick up the pieces of this? I don't know. Can the United States return as a serious diplomatic power? That looks debatable at the moment.
And then Donald Tusk from Poland posted on social media that his country stands with Ukraine, telling Zelenskyy he's not alone. Spanish Prime Minister posted that on X, that Spain also stands with Ukraine. We'll be closely following the fallout from the meeting and any developments that may emerge. You can always find the latest on our website, cbsnewyork.com.